think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather. We already know. We knew Crawford is a great fighter.
The comparison, listen, Crawford Mayweather would have been an amazing fight in their prime. Just like you insert Ray Leonard in there, just like you insert Ray Robinson in there. What a round robin that would have been.
He tried. You catch him, he want to catch you back. You know what I mean? You fighting Bud, he's not. Bud's not running from nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I felt that I had the upper hand in our competition.
Canelo responded to Terence Crawford accepting Floyd Mayweather's challenge with a bold warning, insisting Crawford would finish him if they ever fought. He declared Crawford the better fighter right now, deserving full credit for everything he's achieved. Canelo praised him as amazing, highlighting his flawless skill and impeccable timing. He pointed out that Crawford has proven himself across divisions, leaving no doubt about his greatness. In Canelo's eyes, the respect Crawford has earned is universal, acknowledged by fans, experts, and fighters throughout the sport.
I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather. We already know. We knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Was it something specific, the movement or his speed or power, or what? Was there something you could put your finger on that gave you the most trouble?
Everything.
Okay.
He have everything. You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body just not let me go. And you need to accept it. That's it. He's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He know how to move and everything.
I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather. We already knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I was supposed to do, right? I searched every way. I trained really hard, and he deserves all the credit. I tried, I gave my best tonight, but I just could not figure out the style. Was it the movement, the speed, the power? What was it? Was there something you could point to that gave you the most trouble? Everything. He had everything. You know, sometimes you fight and your body just won't respond. That's my frustration. Maybe I couldn't solve Crawford, but my body just wouldn't go anymore. I tried, but my body refused, and you need to accept that. That's it. He's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He knows how to move and do everything.
Heard that. What I think is, when Floyd beat me, I was 23. I wasn't polished. When Bud beat me, I was the man. I was the man. And he beat me fair and square. He beat me at my game, and he beat me at his game. That's why Canelo said that. Do I believe that? It's tough to believe. We're not going to ever see Bud versus Floyd. And it's crazy. It's crazy because I would love to see that fight, but I know we're not going to see it. But I can only take Canelo's word because he's the man that's been in the ring with both of them. But I understand why he said it. I was a kid when I fought Floyd. He wasn't a kid literally, but he was young. He was young. There was a lot he didn't know. There was a lot he didn't understand about boxing that he later on learned and got better. But Bud beat the better version of me, even though it's the ran down version. I'm saying that because it is some wear and tear there with Canelo. I've been saying it the whole time. When a guy got almost 70 fights in current time, with all those big camps he's been doing and all that, trust me, it's some wear and tear there. I'm not making excuses for Canelo. I'm just saying. I do give Bud his credit, though, for beating Canelo. And Canelo understands I am a better fighter today than I was back then. But that's hard to say because Floyd, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Bud took maybe 20% of what Floyd did and added that to his repertoire for this fight. So that's why I'm saying it's tough to say that.
Garage Hackett shared his take on Canelo's words about Terence Crawford, drawing a sharp line between the Canelo, who once fell to Floyd Mayweather, and the Crawford who later conquered him. Hackett reminded us that when Canelo met Mayweather at just 23, he was still raw, still searching for the craft and wisdom he carries now. Crawford, on the other hand, stepped into the ring against Canelo after he had risen as the face of boxing, polished, dangerous, and complete. To Hackett, that's what made Crawford's triumph so powerful. It came against Canelo at his very peak, not the young fighter still learning.
It's
like you're
wow.
watching, like, wow. Towards the end, towards the final rounds, it really started getting comfortable and really started putting it on him. I'm like, this is amazing.
You know, one of those rare, like, that's history, obviously, right? Watching somebody do, you shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to fight at that weight for the first time ever.
Against one of the greatest,
undisputed greatest of all time, fucking, and do what you did. It is beyond, like, my favorite, an outlier. You're beyond an outlier. You're something, you're an anomaly.
Yeah. Something
special.
special. And
something
he's another
really
one, 30,
special.
I believe he's 37.
Yeah. One of those where you shouldn't be able to do that by any account. By any account. 37, my body was so wrecked. I'm like, fuck you. You know, I could barely go bowling.
Joe Rogan spoke with pure astonishment at Terence Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez. He emphasized how Crawford climbed 2 full weight classes at the age of 37, something almost unheard of in boxing history. Rogan underlined that no fighter this late in their career had ever stepped up and beaten a champion of Canelo's stature, making the achievement historic. To him, it was far beyond a simple win. It was a defining moment that revealed Crawford's greatness and cemented his place as one of the most extraordinary athletes the sport has ever seen.
Tough 154 pounders and it was in a young Canelo and a very tough Cotto who was punching very hard from 4 to 54. You know, remember Cotto had knocked out Delvin Rodriguez at 54. He'd still done some damage at 54, and I thought
won a title at 60.
Yeah, and I thought he knocked out Martinez at 60, and I thought he gave Mayweather a pretty good fight at 54. I don't know. I can't say I disagree or agree. I just think that Mayweather, because it's so far away, so long ago, you know, and people sort of start to underestimate the things he did. You know, people talk about Canelo takes his repertoire from the Mayweather repertoire. No, he doesn't. Mayweather fought ex-champions. This guy's fighting guys who will never even smell, may never smell a belt in their life, and he was fighting them. So. You know, Mayweather, even if you're saying, he didn't fight the very best, he still fought champions and ex-champions, even at 47, even at 54.
Paulie Malignaggi stepped into the debate over whether Floyd Mayweather or Terence Crawford stands as the greater fighter. He pointed out that arguments like these can never truly find an end, since each man belongs to a different era, shaped by unique challenges and circumstances. Malignaggi stressed that while comparing them makes for a captivating discussion among fans and analysts, it will always remain endless, because both fighters carry undeniable claims to greatness. He honored Floyd's flawless record and iconic career, while equally praising Crawford's mastery across divisions and victories over elite rivals. For Malignaggi, it's this conversation itself that keeps boxing thrilling, even without a final answer.
The GOAT, oh, absolutely. But Terence Crawford will whoop his ass. He would beat Floyd Mayweather. I'm telling you right now, he will beat Floyd Mayweather too. He will beat him too. He got everything it takes to beat Floyd. Floyd struggled in the first half against Zab Judah. Zab Judah, a damn terrific fighter. Terrific fighter, but he ain't no damn Terence Crawford. Especially from the southpaw position. Floyd didn't like fighting southpaws. Floyd reached with that right hand. You think he's going to reach against one of the best back foot counterpunchers in the game? He going to reach with that right hand against Crawford? He going to get slept reaching with that backhand, the way he reaches with that. That level change backhand he throws too? Man, that pull jab he does too, that ain't going to work. That is not going to work. Floyd got a 72-inch reach. Yeah, he had quickness, fast reflexes. However, Crawford got all of that too. He got all of that too. And he got a 75-inch reach. Great counterpuncher. Can concentrate all night. Can put pressure on Floyd. He can even invite Floyd in. Yep. I noticed. Floyd's not having success. He started to step on the gas. That's what he do. And he gonna run into problems with Crawford because Crawford hits harder than him.
Timothy Bradley voiced a daring opinion, saying that Terence Crawford holds the tools needed to defeat Floyd Mayweather as well. Bradley explained that Crawford carries the rare mix of intelligence, adaptability, power, and precision required to answer Floyd's defensive genius. He argued that Crawford's gift for shifting mid-fight and his razor timing would turn him into a nightmare for Mayweather, even in his prime. Bradley's words revealed his deep respect for Crawford's craft and his belief that the Omaha champion deserves to be mentioned with the sport's all-time greats. To him, Crawford isn't only good. He has everything required to surpass even the untouchable legends.
See Bivol, Bud next, since Bud's so strong. That's what I said. Why you talking about 54? None of them dudes gonna get you up. If you truly beat Canelo, why not be the greatest fighter in the existence of boxing? Like, Bivol is the only dude to beat 2 undisputed active champions. Like, he beat Canelo as an undisputed champion, and he beat Better Beef as an undisputed champion. Bivol, historically, might go down as one of the greatest to ever do it. If you beat Bivol and you beat Canelo, I mean, Crawford might have surpassed TBE in Floyd. Floyd has never beaten someone as accomplished as Bivol. And forget about accomplishments like perceived threat. Who's Bivol on Floyd's resume?
Some voices in the boxing world insist that for Crawford to truly surpass Mayweather's legacy, he must chase a monumental challenge against Dimitri Bivol. Bivol, defined by his size, skill, and dominance at light heavyweight, stands as the kind of test that could push Crawford's story even higher. These critics argue that a victory over Bivol would secure Crawford as greater than Floyd because it would show his power to conquer a prime, larger, and technically gifted opponent. Such a triumph, they claim, would silence every doubt and place Crawford as boxing's ultimate historical figure, achieving what even Mayweather never did.
And Terence Crawford and his team stated that if he does stay in the sport of boxing and he does move down, he's not going to drop down below 160. And so it's being reported that Terence Crawford wants to become a 6th division champion. And a guy that he had his sights set on is now calling him out aggressively and daring him to come down and fight him. And that's Janibek, who is seen to be the best 160-pounder in the world. And he's the unified IBF and WBO 160 middleweight world champion. The middleweight division, 160, is a glamour division. There's the top 3 glamour divisions in the sport of boxing is welterweight, 147. Terence Crawford knocked out every opponent he faced at welterweight and became undisputed there.
Reports are spreading that Terence Crawford is chasing history by becoming a 6th division world champion, a milestone reached by only a rare few in the sport's long story. Already celebrated for conquering several weight classes and dismantling elite opponents, Crawford's drive to climb even further reveals his relentless hunger to challenge himself at every peak. The prospect of him fighting at middleweight has sparked a wave of excitement across the boxing world, as it would mean stepping into the 160-pound division against rivals naturally bigger, stronger, and built for the challenge.
He faced at welterweight and became undisputed there. The next glamour division is middleweight, 160, that Marvin Hagler, made famous, many middleweights, Sugar Ray Robinson. It's a glamour division, right? Sugar Ray Leonard moved up there, Tommy Hearns, that's a glamour division. And obviously, the division that carries the sport of boxing when it's on top is the heavyweight division. Then you can make a case for the lightweight division, so on and so forth, right? I would say the lightweight division is number 4. So Terence Crawford became a champion at lightweight, right? So with that said, you have Janibek, who's seen as the best fighter there. He's the IBF WBO champion.
Adding more intrigue, Janibek Alimkanyeli has stepped forward with a direct challenge to Crawford, daring him not to shy away and to meet him at middleweight. Janibek, an undefeated champion with a rapidly rising reputation, views this as the chance to secure a career-defining fight against one of the greatest fighters of this era. For Crawford, taking on such a challenge would mean more than legacy. It would be a chance to prove his dominance in yet another demanding division, whether the matchup happens or not. The possibility alone has fueled debate among fans and analysts, making Crawford's next chapter one of the most closely followed journeys in boxing.
Terence Crawford, what did you do to actually get a win over him?
I agree with Augie. With what he said about Floyd, I'm going to say about Crawford. You got to punch with Crawford. You got to counter Crawford and punch with Crawford. You got to bang the body with Crawford. You got to stay on top of Crawford. You know what I mean? Fight him in that phone booth if you can. I mean, as I remember, that's exactly what I did. You know, Crawford, he switches and all that. I don't get that. I don't get out my hookup with all the switching he does. But what tripped me out was he got low in the ring. Like, he kind of like cut his height down. I had a field day with that. He should have stayed tall. You know, he cut his height down, and you know, I stayed in his chest. You know, and you gotta counter Crawford. You gotta fight Crawford. And what I always thought about Crawford was he's easily taken out his hookup. I thought, you know, maybe he fought his fight. I thought he fought my fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he grew out of getting out of his hookup. I think
because,
I think he learned how to just kind of adjust and do what needed to be done more so.
Break that down for us, guys. What do you guys mean the hookup? Break that down for us.
So yeah, you know what?
Getting caught up in a war?
I'll go ahead, Miguel. Like break down Bud getting caught out of his hookup.
Well, you know, with Bud, I thought, you know, but you can easily get Bud to fight you.
Back in the day. Yeah. And you know, Gamboa, you know, showed parts of that. You know, and Bud, all his fights, Bud fights you. Yeah.
Bud gets, you know what I mean? Every fight I see Bud fighting, even still to this day, but I totally understand what Sean's saying. For sure. Bud's the truth. But when I see Bud fighting, you catch him, he want to catch you back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You fighting Bud, Bud's not running from nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I felt that I had the upper hand in our competition.
An analyst revisited the story of Miguel Silky Smooth Gonzalez, the last man to ever defeat Terence Crawford back in the amateur days. He explained that beating Crawford now would demand extraordinary preparation and skill, much like the way opponents once spoke of Floyd Mayweather in his prime. The analyst stressed that Crawford has turned into one of the most dangerous fighters alive, blending defensive sharpness with surgical precision. Just as Mayweather's style tormented rivals for years, Crawford now carries that same aura of invincibility. His ability to adapt, avoid damage, and strike with perfect timing makes him the kind of opponent fighters must train endlessly to even dream of overcoming.
Absolutely, but they're probably thinking the way we were all thinking that just because of the weight he should be okay because he's the naturally bigger man. But someone like Crawford, obviously, who's done what he's done, you have to be on the top of your game. And I felt with Canelo, it was probably too many single shots that he was throwing, but he wasn't throwing the usual singles and backing it up because he was getting counted. And
he wasn't allowed to.
Yeah, it wasn't just that Canelo was bad is what I'm trying to get at. Crawford was absolutely sensational on the night and the deserved winner and one of the best.
Because the other side of the argument would be that they actually thought they might be getting Crawford at the right time because he hadn't fought for a while and had some particular surgery. I mean, did it go, as I said to you at the top of the show, Bomek, I mean, I watched you in the corner and I thought it was a exercise in how a corner should be conducted in terms of the communication, the coherency of it and the discipline behind who spoke, when they spoke, what they said and what needed to be heard. Did the fight go exactly as you had mapped out in your mind and what you thought would manifest itself? Is this your last fight? You know, it's really annoyed me with Max Kellerman going in and making that the stop part of his questions. Do you think, Bomek, that he gets the recognition and the appreciation that his achievements merit?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Why do you think that is?
I think because of the simple fact that Terence is his own man. You know, he knows the path that he wants to go. And some of the boxing critics or some of the boxing people around boxing figure he should go this route or he should go that route. When he didn't go that route and he went this route, he's ducking the other middleweights. I mean, the other welterweights. So he's ducking the 140-pounder. No, he's not ducking them. He's just not available. well, he should have went this way. I didn't want to go that way. I wanted to go this way because that's the way I wanted to go.
Ryan Bomac McIntyre, Crawford's longtime trainer, shared his perspective on the victory over Canelo Alvarez. He called the fight easy for Crawford, stressing how thoroughly prepared they were for every possible scenario. Bomac also addressed the criticism aimed at Crawford's career moves, noting how fans and analysts are always naming opponents they think he should fight. When Crawford doesn't take those matchups, accusations of ducking quickly surface. Yet Bomac brushed aside those claims, saying Crawford is carving his own road instead of chasing other people's expectations. He insisted that Crawford's legacy should be defined not by outside demands, but by the relentless success he continues to deliver inside the ring.
But if you study Floyd closely, like I have, you will notice that he never wastes any steps while he's in the ring. He will pivot just enough to take away the angle from the person in front of him, then he will reset in the center of the ring, and his movement and his footwork was just perfect. And it was his feet that made him control every single fight, putting him in the perfect position to defend punches, then that small little sidestep either way to put him into the position to be able to land punches back. And he would also use his front foot to apply pressure with them small little steps, waiting for that moment to land them punches. And if you train boxing, you should be constantly working on the specific footwork things that you need to work on, because you might agree with me, but without good feet, nothing else matters.
Tony Jeffrey added his voice to the debate by reflecting on the rare qualities that made Floyd Mayweather untouchable in his time. He explained that Mayweather's brilliance went far beyond defense. It was in his footwork, his timing, and his unmatched ability to outmaneuver every opponent. According to Jeffrey, Floyd's movement bordered on perfection, a style that left even the greatest fighters frustrated. He also reminded fans that Mayweather faced and conquered a long line of legends throughout his career, sealing his claim to greatness. Jeffrey's words underscored that while Crawford's feats are extraordinary, Mayweather's career remains one of the most decorated and technically astonishing in the history of boxing. That wraps it up for today's video. Keep watching. Until next time.